Welcome back everyone to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager GT version. So now that we've had a couple of races under our belt, let's take a quick look at where we are in the standings. We are currently 5th in the team standings, and we are 10th and 12th respectively in the driver standings. So we're off to a great start, probably a little bit in over our head. I don't quite expect to finish this high over the course of a full year, but you never know. We'll see how things go with our car parts being developed. We're right now working on our first gearbox, which is almost done. We've got 24 days till our next GP, so maybe enough time to get a second gearbox done and hopefully ready for the race. So far, I gotta say, I'm loving these GT models. They do look kind of generic, but they've got kind of a Lambo feel to them to me with some of the curves, but I like them. Overall, I really like the design. And again, like everything else, for me, it's all about opening up future possibilities. And I think we're going to see some mods come in that are going to take this to even new, higher heights. So we got some things going on. We're improving our parts. Let's take a quick look at our emails so far. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Again, 50% is about what we're losing per race right now. And that's not pushing the car very hard. Okay, we've got an interview. Let's see what happens here. And let's see, you attempted a quick stop for casino, but it resulted in a mistake. Yes, your very own chairman criticized the move, saying that motorsport isn't the place for gambling. Wow, he's in the wrong place because motorsport is filled with gambling. In fact, that's the only way you're ever going to get anywhere is if you make calculated risk. But regardless, so he's right. I should have been more careful. We had to go for it. And yep, we're going here. We had to go for it. So whatever. Okay, I like the new interview. So it's throwing some new things in there. I like that. And we'll see how it goes in the future. But so far, so good. And all right, so let's see. We're almost done there. Our scouting so far, we've got, looks like one more that'll be done before our next race. Scouting so far is not going all that well. Frank Kinney here is the best we've gotten so far, simply because now the stats are not good as far as being a driver, not good at all. But much higher marketability, 75%, plus being a paid driver, 200,000. So those two things are very good for us in the long term. The problem we've got right now, if we come back to our main drivers, is you can see 2 stars there. So again, nothing to write home about. But we've got a little bit of a cost here, that a little bit more than I want to spend to break one of these contracts. So the only time I'm really willing to break one of these contracts right now is if we get a driver that is really too good to pass up. So that pay driver is good for us at this point from a financial side, but not good enough for me to say, hey, I need to pay $700,000 out of pocket to break these contracts. I've got both of these contracts coming due or expiring at the end of the year and doing to be renewed. And quite frankly, right now, Liani here is my favorite of the 2 drivers because of this, the smoothness. Now, overtaking is also great, but I'm loving the smoothness. What I don't love is 20% marketability. That is no good for us. All right, let's go ahead and move things forward. We've got that new gearbox that is about to be finished. Looks like we've got a new sponsor that has crept in here. We'll give that a little bit of time. Hopefully we'll get a few more come in. Okay, a couple more things. There's our new gearbox. And let's see, okay, we're still not done repairing the parts from the previous race. So we can't fit those just yet, but let's go ahead and work on a new gearbox. And let's see, we're going to go plus 40 there, plus 20 there. Okay, let's see what is in the great selection. Now we can't get to it, but let's see what's there. -1 risk level, that's good. And plus 60, that's good, but of course, nothing I can do with that really, unless I could combine those two, which isn't going to be the case anytime soon. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this started. The -20% reliability hurts us But thinking long term here, we got 10 days before the race when it'll be done. Let's go ahead and get building. Because if there's two things we really need to get improved on this car, it's engine and gearbox. If we can get those two really doing well, then I think that'll go a long way toward getting us a lot better finishes. And then we'll deal with finding better drivers as we move along. Okay, now our car is done repairing. Okay, so we need to get our engine up a little bit higher. We also, of course, need to start working on the gearbox. All right, we'll go ahead and do both of these right now. Then, of course, we'll have our new gearbox that'll fall into place a little bit later on. Okay, you can see, I mean, these just getting these one development cycle out of the way for each of these is made a huge difference in our performance. So we'll hope that that continues and that we'll be able to get much better performance by the end of the season. Okay, here we go. We got another interview. Let's see what this is. Okay, so it looks like we're about to get our first potential rule change. And let's see, they want to change the layout of the Tondola track. I don't particularly care one way or the other. And sure, let's go with a few changes would be a good idea. How about that? All right, I'm quietly confident. Sure, why not? Okay, so not a whole lot different about that particular thing, and my answers didn't seem to change anything. Okay, let's go into, I want to take a look at our car and see what these parts are doing. Let's see, our engine right now, 82%, we got 71. Okay, we're not exactly where I want to be there, so I'm going to keep both of them. I was considering if this was high enough, around 80, that I was going to remove that and focus on just the gearbox, but it doesn't look like I'm going to have the ability to do that. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward. Okay, now we've got a new gearbox. Go ahead and get that out of the way. Okay, so now we're going to have to move this one out. We've got our new gearbox coming in at 20%. Actually, I don't think I'm going to be able to use that in this next race. I don't think there's any way. So let's just go ahead and focus on getting this one ready. I hate to do that, but there's just no way. I'm going to, in 9 days, I may get this thing up to, 35% or something. So not enough to be able to use it. So let's just focus on this one. We're doing pretty good with our engine. 74 isn't quite as high as I would like, but I think we're okay there. If we continue to lose about 50% reliability, that would put us just outside the red zone there. So not terrible, but again, not quite as high as I would like it. Okay, let's go ahead and look, see what kind of email we got. Oh, it's time to vote. So I'm actually going to abstain here because I don't really care one way or another whether it gets approved or not. Okay, looks like it's going to be approved. And back to our car, let's see what kind of new parts we can make. I'm not sure we're going to get anything better for our engine, but let's just take a look. Okay, actually not too bad. Not too bad at all. And in fact, since I've got a third option here, now we can't get into the great components, but we got the two we've been using, and I could go one of these two, and I'm going to go 25 to the max simply because this adds an additional 2 days there plus another 2 days, so more than I want. This will get us up over 100. Let's go ahead and build that. Takes up a lot of money though. Okay, looks like we've got a scouting report coming up. There we go. Low quality driver. Potential is good though. Okay, best quality is focus, but lacks adaptability. Well, that's certainly not a problem. All right, 99%. Wow. That's huge. That is very huge. Okay, I'm liking this driver quite a bit. Again, not long term, but for right now, panic prone. Oh, great. That's not good. Fitness isn't wonderful. So, all right, so we've got a temporary bump here in marketability, but still going to be fairly high overall. Okay, we'll put that on the short list of possibilities for the future. I mean, there's some room for improvement here. The marketability is the biggest desirable feature so far. Okay, see what our mail is. We got, wait, that can't be right, can it? Oh, we got another scouting report. I could have sworn we only had time for one before the next race, but we'll take it. Okay, below average driver, potential is good. Okay, let's see what that amounts to in real terms. Okay, terrible marketability. Great on the first lap. Wow, +4. Now that's huge. Flat spotter, that is definitely not good. And morale +20, we don't really care about that. Okay, smoothness is terrible. That is a huge factor for me. You know, some of these others are obvious. You want good braking and cornering and that kind of thing. But smoothness is huge for me because that allows me to run farther on the same set of tires. So that, and it really helps with the strategy. You can turn things around for you. So looks like a lot of improvability here, a lot of potential, particularly to be 17 years old. But low marketability and no smoothness just really ruin that for me. Okay, let's go back, take a look at the car, see where we are. 77%, so looks like we're in good shape there. Let's go to scouting and see what we've got. I don't think there's going to be any new drivers here. There are a lot fewer free agent drivers now that we have this additional DLC, the additional series in here, which is perfectly fine with me. You know, obviously I could start scouting some of these other drivers and opening that up, but you know, and trying to get another driver from another team. I'm not really interested in that. I like sticking with the free agent drivers. Also, in 2 weeks, we're going to have a brand new crop of drivers available to us to scout. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, let's go ahead and move along. Okay, and with that in mind, hopefully we'll get one more sponsor to take a look at. And okay, no, we didn't get that final sponsor. So we're going to have 2 to choose from. Okay, and not really anything good here. Now, I knew the target position wasn't going to make these usable for us, but I was hoping for a bigger upfront payment. So we'll go here and get us $100,000, but nowhere near what I was hoping for from this position. So then the main thing becomes, when do we have some more deals coming up? And it looks like 4 races as far as when deals are coming back. We're going to drop about 500 grand each race between now and then. So money's pretty tight right now, but that's, hey, that's part of it. Once again, we're going to try. I mean, this one is very, very doable for us, but it's only 76,000. It really doesn't make a dent in anything. So the 9th or above is our best option right now, because if we get it, which we won't get the entire amount because we can't qualify well at all, but during the race we can get about half of this number here to make a big dent in this loss column. Okay, let's see what we've got. I think we're going to need to swap out at least one part. Yes, we do. And we are going to give this again to Leone because Leone is the much smoother driver. Okay, so great reliability there. Okay, so let's go actually into improved parts. Take this one out and go ahead and get this one set up so that after this next race, it'll already be up and going as soon as possible. Okay, so I believe we're all set. So with that in mind, let's head to the racetrack. All right, so practice and qualifying are done. It is race time. We'll start out by taking a look, as we always do, at our knowledge bonuses. 5% for both soft tires and race trim. Our setups came out pretty good. You can see green and purple across the board here. 96% on one car. Of course, we're starting 19th. We're still starting at the back of the grid. But we're using the soft tires. Now, because of his smoothness, we can only get 6 to 8 laps. So I'm going to count on about 6 at the most. and which will be fine because if we can go 6, 6, and 5, that'll get us to our 17 laps. So for 6, 6, and 5, I'm going to start. Remember, from our first race where I included in the video the practice and qualifying session, we are at about, if we're running level 3 on the engine mapping, then we get about 1.1 fuel per lap. That's about how much fuel we're burning. So 6 laps would be about 6.6. So 7.0 should get us where we need to be there for a 2-stop strategy. Then if we come over to our other car, then you can see here, very good setup, 97%. And here we can get 8 to 10, so a full 2 extra laps. This is why smoothness is so important for a driver. So here, this will enable me, or at least it should, to do a 1-stopper. Again, 17 laps, we should be able to go 9 and 8. And if we can do that, then we'll be in good shape for a 1-stop strategy. And of course, if you can eliminate a pit stop, then that is quite a bit of time that you can pick up. Consequently, we're going to put a little bit more fuel on board. I could have gone with 10 laps of fuel here, or 10.0 is not really laps. That's not really the way it works, but 10.0 would have given me just barely enough to run 9 laps. So I decided to put in a little bit of extra, even though there is, of course, a weight penalty involved with doing so. I'd rather play it a little bit safe on that. Our driver strategy, we're going to go engine mode. This is what I mean by 3. I consider this 1, 2, 3, and 4. Overtake mode is used sparingly for the most part by me. I stick mostly with the high engine mode, and then we're trying to basically conserve tires here, so I'm not going to be pushing these tires. Okay, with that in mind, let's get this thing started. Okay, we're going to skip by this. We know we're starting toward the back. We're 17th and 19th. We're going to focus here on Leone, and let's see, let's get our camera right, or at least pretty good. Okay, so the question here would be, where would you want to use your boost or the ERS that we've got here? And for me, I think the answer is probably here on the front stretch. Again, there's any number of places you could use it, and it would probably be a good idea. We're going to let it charge up, and of course we got the timer that has to run down, that keeps us from using it on basically the first lap. You can see a few guys using it at the very beginning, although I'm not sure the benefit you would gain from using it through the corners. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but maybe there's something I'm missing with that. All right, so we're running 14th and 17th. Okay, I'm going to get ready to use this as soon as we come off this corner. Right now, let's push that and push that for both cars. Okay, I was a little bit late on Casino there. All right, let's see, any rain coming? Okay, I need to remember to look at this a lot more often than I do now, but it looks like for at least the next few laps we're in good shape. And we're running 14th and 16th, so that's good. This lap, we're not going to be using the boost. We're going to actually let it charge for this lap. Didn't look like it really hurt us any. I didn't see anybody else using it. Looked like we've got one driver here using it. But we're in pretty good shape here. Leone, this is why of the 2 drivers so far, Leone is my favorite simply because of that smoothness and the overtaking. Very good. I just wish there was more. There we go. Let's get our speed boost here for both cars. Okay. So we've got Leone is my favorite of the 2 drivers. Again, I just wish there was more marketability there. That would really help things out. So for sponsor objective, we need to finish 9th or above with at least one of the cars. All right, let's go ahead and get that boost. Didn't last very long, but again, one of the big things for us. Okay, so now before I get too involved, because I am on the lap I need to pit with for Casino, with that in mind, let's go ahead and swap over and set up the pit stop. So we're on lap 6, so we've got what we need there. Fuel options, once again, we'll go, so we're going to have to overfill a little bit here. Okay, part conditions, so far so good on everything. We're not going to recharge the battery, so we'll skip over that. And hopefully we can get a good pit stop. Uh, Even if it's not quite 10 seconds, if it will at least get us a little bit better than 12, even if we have a 1.5 second penalty, that would still get us out better than the balanced pit stop. So we'll do that. All right, and with that in mind, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and use this boost here on the back stretch since we're going to be coming into the pits. Okay, so now that that's set up, we'll scoot back over to our other driver who is moving up through the field nicely. And we'll use the boost. Hopefully we can get ahead. Can we make this pass? Man, we're side by side so close, and we weren't able to get it done. Okay, let's look at our pit stop. Well, nope. Our penalty was too much, so it put us a little bit slower than we needed to be there. All right, so now remember, we're trying to run 9 laps here with Leone. Use a little bit of the boost there, and now we're up to second. Now, what does that tell you? Well, it tells us how many drivers are on the one-stop strategy, and it tells us that among those drivers, we are now second on the track. All right, you can see the AI look like they got a little bit off of the track graphically there, so a little bit out of alignment. But overall, I don't think it's that big a deal. Now we're down to 22% tire. So where is the fall off for this particular tire? Well, the soft tire, it is at 10%. So I think we're going to be fine. Let's take a look at our weather. Looks like we're overall pretty good here. Now that we're on lap 9, let's set up our pit stop. Grab our second set of tires. So it looks like we're going to be perfectly fine on tires because we only need to go 8 laps on this next stint. All right, and by the way, while I'm thinking about this, I believe it automatically fills, even if I left it here, I believe it automatically fills to 9 on the pit stop rather than 8.12, but I can't remember for sure, and I want to make sure that we leave as much margin for error as we can. All of our parts are looking pretty good, and we're going to try to get a pretty good pit stop here. Again, if we can get it better than 13 seconds, then using this would be worth it. Okay, and I think we're in good shape. Okay, we're struggling a little bit with tire wear. Yes, you are. But we're doing great among the one stoppers. Not looking like there's going to be any rain, at least before about lap 13. Okay, so now we're going to swap back over. Let's see where we come back out. Actually, we may come out ahead. And we do, okay. Of course, the downside of that is that even though he's ahead right now, he's going to have to make another pit stop that our second driver here will not have to make. All right, so we're going to be charging for a full lap with Casino. So we'll come back over here to Leone, and I'm going to be watching the mini-map in the top right-hand corner. And so now there we go. Let's use that boost and try to gain as much time as we can. All right, we're going to be watching very closely to the tires here. We're still good on tires and fuel, but we're about ready to come in for our final pit stop for Casino. All right, and as we come back around now, all right, we'll hit the boost here. And okay, so it lasted very nearly the length of this front straightaway. Okay, let's go ahead and queue up his final pit stop. You can see 6 to 8 on the tires. And let's go ahead and change off, and there'll be 5 laps remaining. And again, we'll put a little bit of extra fuel in there, a little bit more than we actually have to. Let's look at our parts. And okay, everything looks wonderful there. Again, trying to get the best pit stop we can. As long as it comes out better than 11 seconds, then the fast pit stop was worth it. All right, and we'll move back to Leone here. And let's go ahead and use that final little bit of boost here to get him into the pits a little bit quicker. All right, here we go. Now boost for our second car, Leone. All right, so we moved up Okay, so we got our final pit stop done. So we're done with pit stops for both drivers now. All right, let's go ahead and push a little bit with Leone here. And let's do the same thing with actually both drivers. All right, so we got pit stops happening. We'll see. I see a lot of medium tires, which means we should be faster because we're on the soft tires. But because we're about 3 seconds off the pace regardless, we can't make up all of that. So 13th so far and 19th for our two drivers. Let's see, we got some more pit stops happening. Let's hope we can pick up a few more spots. Okay, so it's not happening as well for us right now. We need to pick up, we got a couple more laps here. I'm still hoping some guys are going to come in for one final stop. Although it doesn't look like that is going to happen. Weather should not be an issue. Okay, we'll get ready to use the boost for Casino, who is coming out now onto the front straightaway. Let's see if he can pick up a position. He picked up 1 or 2 there. Now, Leone, we need to pick up 2 more spots if we can and get to 9th. All right, so we're going on to this final lap. Let's go ahead and hit that charge. Yeah, we just can't keep up with these guys. So it looks like we're going to miss our mark and lose more money than, of course, we would prefer to. But we're still doing fine on our expectations for the year. Remember, we were planning on finishing. Let's go ahead and use the boost here. No reason to save it. All right, so we churned through the tires and used them right down as much as we could, right down to that 10% level. But overall, this race just not a good one for what I was looking for. I was really hoping we could get that 9th position. There you can see the car a little bit off the track. They're not lining up graphically. So not terrible in the grand scheme of things, but not quite as good as what I was hoping for a finishing position. So we did the one stopper, as did the top cars. I really needed the top cars to do a 2-stop strategy so that we could benefit simply because we're off the pace on speed. So, but that didn't happen. Everybody did a 1-stop strategy that finished above us, with the exception of, it looks like, 11th position. So that tells you how much we are down on speed. And then, of course, because we had to do a 2-stop strategy and we're down on speed, we finished toward the bottom with Casino. Okay, no danger for us in scrutineering because we don't have any parts that we'd have to worry about. So Leone finishes a couple of positions out of where we needed to be. So now we're 10th and 15th in the driver's standings, and we fall to 6th in the team championship. But overall, you know, again, not the end of the world. As long as we finish at least 8th in each race, and then of course by the end of the season, we'll be fine, and we're a good 12 points to the good there. Okay, let's move forward to the final couple of screens and check out the money as well as morale. Okay, morale is perfect there, 100%, 100%. Happiness from the chairman is 100%, so we're good there. Really no change to speak of in our team marketability. It was still very low at 25%, mostly due to our drivers. Okay, we got a new unlock here. Intermediate tires wear slowly. Okay, that is useless to us for the most part. All right, so not a whole lot happened in that race. We got another race down. Unfortunately, because we didn't get any bonus, we're losing 431,000, taking us down to 2.8 million. So the money is pretty scarce right now for us, but I really don't mind. I like the challenge, the fact that we don't have tons of money right now to just, you know, throw at the car. We're going to have to be very judicious about creating new parts, that kind of thing. All right, let's take a quick look at the emails. Let's see, anything. Oh, we got a an interview here. Let's see if we get a new different type of interview. Let's say it's had some time to get used to the team now. What's your main worries at the moment? Let's see. Ooh, I'm sure the drivers would love it if I chose this option. All right, I'm thinking long term. Let's go ahead and go with that. Looks like that would have increased the chairman's happiness, but because we're at 100%, didn't really do anything. Okay, so with that in mind, let's flip over to our standings. And once again, we're sitting in great position right now in the team standings at 6th, and then our drivers are 10th and 15th respectively. So I'm pretty happy with where we are here at the very beginning. Money is tight. We're going to have to manage it effectively and be very judicious with it, but overall, very pleased. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more Motorsport Manager.